Hello and welcome. It's 11 o'clock. It is the 18th day of May, 2021. The sun is sort of out, and I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM, the man who uses big words to make up for the fact that he's an idiot. Support me, Diet Coke. I need a sponsor, and I will sell out. So recently it was suggested on the few people that follow my meanderings into the world of interwebby that instead of complaining about 5th edition, I talk about games I actually like. And I talk about games I have played in and what's been going on in my table. I maybe even review some more games and what I think about them. And a couple of the games that was recommended that I reviewed, I actually have copies of. And even though I've talked about them before, I have no problem revisiting them if that's something people are interested in. I'm happy to talk about something positive instead of constantly addressing the negativity that is Von Richter's Guide to Ravenloft. Sadly, I haven't run a game in about a year, so I can't really talk about what's going on my table now. I haven't played a game in a couple months. I'm happy to talk about the disaster that was the most recent game I played in, though I have posted the complete rundown of that game on my blog, which you can find a link for down below. So one of the games, first off, if that's something that interests you, if you want to hear about games I've run in the past or played in the past that felt like successes as opposed to failures, I'm happy to address that. I'm also happy to talk about the couple failures. I mean, I have spoken about the Roger Fireball story hundreds of times and the Young Keg story hundreds of times, but I am always happy to retell the Roger and the Fireball story because it is my favorite D&D story. I'm also happy to revisit role-playing games I've already talked about because at the end of the day, it's what you guys want. So, revisiting role-playing games I've talked about, the very first game that was recommended on the list was this Mork Borg, the art punk, nihilistic, death metal role-playing game, 2020 Game of the Year. Now, this game is very interesting. It is technically an OSR game, though it doesn't use the OSR rules as we know them. It's not a D20 game. It has its own little system. The main selling point of this game really isn't the engine or how great the game is. It really is the look of this game. I mean, this game is just, well, it's a piece of art. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. It is a piece of art that happens to have a role-playing game in it. Now, this is a death metal role-playing game. Now, there are a lot of grim, dark role-playing games out there. There are a lot of games that, have the no hope, this is a dangerous world, characters are cheap and disposable aspect to it. I mean, that is something that has existed throughout the history of the game. And there are people who definitely like a more nihilistic, adult, grim-dark style of game. I gotta say, this is the most grim-dark of all the grim-dark role-playing games I'm aware of, because literally, you cannot win this game. It does say in the rules, this world will die within a very short time. In fact, I think you can create a world that literally destroys itself within 24 hours. I gotta find where it says that. I know it's in here. But there is a table where you can generate how long your world will last. And if you roll a 1, your world will last 24 hours from when the game starts. If there's another game that does this, I'm not aware of it. But yeah, I can't find it. I know it's in here. I probably passed it. Oh, is this it? Yeah, this is it, I think. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah. So your game can be a day long, a week long, a month long, a year long, but the world of Mork Borg is going to die in death and flames, so nothing your characters do matters. There is absolutely no hope whatsoever. Or is there? Okay, maybe that's 99.99.99% that this world is going to engulf in flames within a short period of time. But maybe there's that 0.00000000001% that's something the player characters do can change the outcome of Mork Borg. Otherwise, what's the point of playing? But then again, what's the point of playing Call of Cthulhu if you're just going to go insane? The whole point is trying to make the best out of this no-win situation and trying to grasp victory out of the inevitable defeat. That is the main selling point of this game. There's no alignments. The characters are really weird. And basically, it's just a game about survival, about going out and carving out as much of a life as you can in this horrible, horrible world where everybody is out to eat you, kill you, wear your skin as clothes, and steal your dog. And really, this world is going to die in like a week anyways. But wow, look at this amazing art. And really, in my mind, is it the art that got this game the award for Role-Playing Game of the Year? Is it the concept of a just utterly hopeless role-playing game that got this game Role-Playing Game of the Year? Or is it the system and the story? The system is meh. The story of the world is okay. It's not really that original. There's several aspects of this game that sound very familiar. If you have any knowledge of European role-playing games, all the variations of Zweinhinder and Warhammer and all that other sort of, I live someplace where it snows 99% of the year, and I live someplace which has a history of very horrible governments like Germany. So my country is very depressed. Therefore, the role-playing games we play tend to reflect our country. So yeah, Germany, Sweden, Norway, Czechoslovakia, Poland, France. The role-playing games that have come out of there tend to be really dark and disturbing and more low-key, more Iron Sword, just man versus nature, as opposed to kind of the more Disneyland role-playing game that is D&D, especially 5th edition D&D. Not that D&D can't be dark, but these games go out of their way to be dark. And so the idea of a dark role-playing game, a lot of the things you see in this game are things we've seen before from this style of role-playing. This game just does it up to 11 because of the art and because of the way it's presented. Some of the supplements for this game actually have been printed with records, with death metal records. So while you're playing through the game, you have the soundtrack that goes with it. And if you're not familiar with Norwegian Viking death metal, wow, it is intense. So yeah, 2020 Game of the Year, Mork Borg, beautiful, dark, disturbing, nightmare-inducing. I want to go out in the sun and hug my dog and have a cupcake just to get the taste of this game out of my mouth, disturbing. But wow, what amazing art. System is pretty simple, pretty easy. Again, kind of twisted. The world, you're going to die. Nothing your characters do matters. There is no hope whatsoever. This world will explode in blood and flames within a short period of time. It is established on the very first page of this game. If that's something you don't want to play in, you probably shouldn't play it. But put it all together, the mechanics are meh. It's all the other stuff that really gives this game its gristle. If you just look at the mechanics alone as just an OSR game, there are better OSR games. There are definitely games with better mechanics. It's very simple. It's very easy. It's very disposable characters. There's nothing really breakthrough about it. The tables are fun. The layout is fun. There's nothing really new about this layout. We have seen Scrap Princess and Zach S. and, Expeditions to the Dark and other companies and DIY use the same sort of zine DIY layout. The feel of the game, definitely, yeah. This is a spiked punch to the skull role-playing game. And if that's something that appeals to you, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it just for the art, if nothing alone. That said, this game is part of the prize packet to the person who is my 400th sub. So if you haven't subscribed to my vlog yet, now's your chance, because if you're a subscriber 400, you get this. And if you're interested in hearing me talk about games, especially the most recent D&D game I played in, which was an utter fucking failure, I have posted it on my blog, link down below, and I'm happy to address games that I've run in the past, both successes and failures. I would say my greatest 5th edition success is when I ran Tomb of Annihilation, and my overall greatest experience as for running a game was probably my Freeboard campaign. That said, I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming. I am the Borg and the Mork Borg. I am the silk glove on the spiked hammer that is going into your face while you look at this amazing art and explore this disturbing world. Till next time, get off my apocalypse.